8 WNBA records were broken in a single game last night, and it felt like the officials were doing everything possible to stop it from happening. Toronto came in with a physical game plan, the whistles kept interrupting the flow, and for a while it looked like this story was headed in a very different direction. But nobody told Sophie Cunningham. She caught fire in the second half and knocked down 4 straight three-pointers. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the Fever had scored 113 points against the tempo, the highest total in franchise history for a regulation game, and Caitlin Clark had once again rewritten the record books. Show Caitlin and Sophie some love in the comments by dropping CC and Sophie record breaker.
Cunningham, sidestep, 3 more! Sophie Cunningham, pick it up right where she left off with a 3-ball to beat the first quarter buzzer.
Rocket! No rim, all net.
Cunningham has been breathing fire.
Her energy, her effort as a sister. Sophie's one of the ones that you want to look to for a lot of stuff. Just really proud of her. She works really hard and somebody that we need down the stretch for sure.
Say closer, because that's where your nickname's going to be. Wow.
Sophie Cunningham take a bow.
Toronto did not come into this game looking to outscore Indiana. Their goal was to make it physical, slow the pace, and let the whistles help control the action. Early on, Marina Mabrey set that tone with her aggressive play, repeatedly creating contact and testing the officials. Lexi Hull seemed to take the worst of it, finding herself on the wrong end of several questionable calls despite absorbing plenty of contact throughout the game. Even during tense moments, Hull stayed composed and refused to get pulled into the drama. Raven Johnson brought that same mentality, diving for loose balls, forcing turnovers, and providing energy whenever the Fever needed it most. While her impact may not jump off the stat sheet, her effort helped Indiana maintain its rhythm when the game became physical and choppy. Hull and Johnson handled everything Toronto threw at them, helping the Fever stay in control. Coach White later noted that Toronto attempted only 19 free throws, a sign that Indiana's defense remained disciplined despite the constant contact. The Fever led for most of the night, and the player who made sure that advantage never disappeared was about to take over from the bench.
This is where it all starts. Marina Mabrey pushes Lexi Hull. A full push. Caitlin Clark would have been called for a offensive foul and received a turnover, but not Marina Mabrey, multiple times this game. And then, how does Lexi Hull get elbowed in the back on a screen? And they call a foul on Lexi Hull.
6 three-pointers, 24 points, and a plus 26 rating, the best mark in the entire game. That was the performance Sophie Cunningham delivered off the bench against Toronto. If you were not paying close attention to her, you might have missed just how completely she took over the second half. Cunningham entered the game the way she always does, with no fanfare and no extra attention, just ready to contribute. But this performance had been building for a while. After dealing with an elbow issue that had affected her shooting, she finally got it addressed and admitted after the game that she was starting to trust her shot again. The results are becoming impossible to ignore. Just one game earlier against Connecticut, she scored 11 points in only 2 minutes and helped blow the game wide open. That was not a fluke. It was the sign of a player rediscovering her rhythm and showing no intention of slowing down.
Definitely gets hit in the face. And then this is just crap. First of all, Marina Mabrey pushes her and then acts like she didn't elbow Lexi Hull. That's obviously on purpose. And Lexi Hull luckily just laughs it off. But look at this. She elbows Lexi Hull out of the way. And Lexi Hull's laughing at her. Come on. I mean, after the 4th time this game. But anyways, we know that she's a dirty player.
Toronto's physical style and the constant interruptions actually created the perfect situation for Sophie Cunningham. She does not need much time or space to get her shot off. Give her one clean catch on the wing, and the ball is already in the air. With Toronto focusing so much attention on Caitlin Clark, open looks kept appearing on the perimeter. Then came the second half, when everything clicked. Cunningham knocked down her first 3, then another, then a third, and by the time she buried her 4th straight shot from deep, Toronto's defense had no answers left because nothing they tried was working.
have that chip on your shoulder.
Here's Billings in the corner. That one's off the mark. Clark the rebound. Here's Hall off the window with the finish.
Get the ice bucket ready because Toronto had no real answer. If defenders stayed attached to Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham was left open on the wing. If they rotated off Cunningham to help on Clark, the ball quickly found its way back to Cunningham and the defense was already too late. And if they tried to split the difference, Clark would find Aaliyah Boston in the paint before they could even make a decision. There was no correct rotation, and Cunningham was a huge reason why. She shoots at such a high percentage that leaving her open is simply not an option.
Sophie's the X factor.
She's tough as nails. She's somebody who never complains, plays through pain.
Sophie's like the glue stick to this team, man.
Sophie Cunningham, feisty.
Without her, we won't be where we are. Her ability to shoot the ball, it just opened up so many avenues for us.
Clark, Cunningham. Oh, yeah!
Big time plays by Cunningham.
Inside, Boston, kick out. Can she do it again? Bullseye!
Her 83.4% true shooting percentage leads the entire WNBA this season and currently stands as the best mark in the league. That number includes 3-pointers, 2-pointers, and free throws, so it is not boosted by just one type of shot. Against Toronto, she finished 8 of 11 from the field and knocked down 6 3-pointers, with many of her shots barely touching the rim. That level of efficiency is enough to frustrate any opposing coach. Her 24 points also set a new career high as a Fever player, and what makes it even more impressive is that she did it in just 24 minutes coming off the bench rather than playing full starter minutes.
Cunningham from way outside. She can't miss.
Get the ice bucket ready, because that...
Whenever Cunningham was on the floor, Indiana outscored Toronto by 26 points. That number says more than any highlight reel ever could because it shows just how much the Fever separated themselves every time she played. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark already had 9 assists by halftime. Take a moment to think about that, especially considering she tweaked her knee early in the game and still ran Indiana's offense as if she had every possession planned out before the opening tip.
Sophie Cunningham, you like the scoring, but sometimes it's the reactions that are even better. They got the lead and you're watching the WNBA.
Pass to Michaela Timpson is worth talking about because it was much more than just a flashy highlight. Clark drove into the lane, faked to the right as if she was going up for a layup, and then delivered a no-look behind-the-back pass to Timpson for an easy finish. Toronto's defense had already shifted toward the fake, and Clark recognized it before the play fully developed. That was not a pass made for show. It was the result of reading the entire defense in advance and knowing exactly where the opening would appear before anyone else saw it.
Clark, low cross, behind the back, no look. Timpson with the finish.
Her three-point shot was not falling the way it normally does, and Coach Stephanie White admitted after the game that shooting efficiency and taking care of the ball are still areas the team wants to improve. Clark was not perfect, but she still finished with 14 assists on a night when her own shot was off. That means she directly created at least 28 points for her teammates, and the Fever offense never lost its rhythm because of it. Then came the records. By the final buzzer, Clark had added several more milestones to her growing resume. She tied Chelsea Gray for 4th place on the all-time WNBA list for points, assists, double-doubles with 21. She joined Diana Taurasi as only the second player in league history to record multiple games in a season with at least 20 points and 14 assists. She also extended her own WNBA record for the most career games with at least 20 points and 10 assists, pushing that total to 14. Simply put, nobody else is close.
With a shoulder injury for most of the year. Clark goes behind the back, gets it to go, and...
The pace record is the one that really puts everything into perspective. Clark reached 250 points and 100 assists in just 13 games this season, the fastest any player has ever done it in WNBA history. She broke the previous record by a full 3 games, which is not a small difference. That is an entirely different level of production. She also continues to chase her own records, holding the top spot for the most 20-point, 10-assist games in a single season with 8 during her 2024 rookie year. She already has 4 such games this season, and there is still plenty of basketball left to be played.
This is a nice pocket pass right there. Down the lane line by Billings. Great read.
Indiana's previous 3 wins all came down to the final moments, with leads slipping away and the Fever having to fight back late. This game felt different. Toronto made an early push, but Indiana never lost control, and by the third quarter the Fever were pulling away, outscoring the tempo 32-23 before adding another 28 points in the fourth to finish the job comfortably. What made the performance so impressive was that it was not carried by just one player. Kelsey Mitchell scored 27 points by attacking downhill off Caitlin Clark's pick-and-roll setups, and Toronto found itself stuck in an impossible situation. If the defense focused on stopping Mitchell's drives, Sophie Cunningham was left open on the wing. If they stayed home on the shooters, Mitchell had a clear path to the basket. As a result, she kept finishing at the rim and earning trips to the free throw line while Toronto's rotations arrived a step too late. That was not luck. It was the result of a defense running out of answers.
He gets back defensively. Boston fakes the handoff and goes backdoor to Mitchell.
What a play. Well done.
Aaliyah Boston's 18 points and 11 rebounds may not have come with flashy highlights, but her impact was huge. She did the hard work inside, controlled the boards, and consistently put herself in the right position at the right time. This was her 4th straight double-double, proving that it is no longer just a strong performance but a clear pattern of consistency. A big reason for that success is Caitlin Clark's ability to draw defenders into the paint, creating open opportunities for Boston whenever teams overcommit. Toronto also started running out of energy as the game went on. With key players already unavailable and a limited guard rotation, their defense began to wear down by the fourth quarter. Indiana's ball movement took full advantage, moving the ball quickly from side to side and exposing every opening. Toronto's guards were forced to chase shooters they could no longer keep up with, and what had been a competitive game quickly turned into a comfortable Indiana lead within a matter of minutes.
Here's Mitchell, feed inside for Boston, who muscles her way in, draws the foul, and one.
Aaliyah Boston's 18 points and 11 rebounds came in the kind of quiet performance that often goes unnoticed. She was not knocking down threes or making flashy passes. Instead, she was controlling the boards, finding the right spots, and making the most of every opportunity. This was her 4th straight double-double, showing that her production is becoming a consistent part of Indiana's success rather than just a one-game performance. Much of that comes from Caitlin Clark's ability to force defenses to collapse into the paint, leaving Boston open whenever opponents overcommit. As the game went on, Toronto also began to run out of options. With Sykes already unavailable and their guard rotation limited, fatigue started to show by the fourth quarter. Indiana's ball movement exposed every weakness, moving the defense from side to side and creating open looks all over the floor. Toronto's guards simply could not keep up, and within a few minutes the game went from competitive to completely out of reach.
Go Beaver, go! Shout out to girls, another dub. You know what the tower stands for? Dub City! That's a dub. We love it. Woo! Sophie for president.
Coach Stephanie White walked into the post-game press conference after a franchise record 113-point performance and immediately started talking about turnovers. Not the 8 records that were broken and not the dominant win. Turnovers. If you want to understand the standard this team is holding itself to, that tells you everything. White did praise Caitlin Clark's pace and playmaking ability, but she was also clear about what still needs improvement. She told reporters that the team's pace gets even better when they defend well, avoid unnecessary fouls, and limit free throw opportunities. She also emphasized the importance of ball movement, explaining that the coaching staff closely tracks paint touches and ball reversals because the offense is at its best when the ball moves and the defense is forced to react. Some fans felt Light did not spend enough time highlighting Clark's 14-assist performance, but whether that criticism is fair or not, it shows just how high the expectations have become. For this team, even a record-setting night is still viewed as something that can be improved.
Johnson, cross court, is there time for this? Yes, there is! Sophie Cunningham, pick it up right where she left off with a 3-ball to beat the first quarter buzzer.
Clark's media session took a completely different turn after the game. Before tip-off, she had been wearing friendship bracelets with the date October 1st, 2026 printed on them, and reporters quickly noticed. Clark confirmed that she has a specific date in mind for the release of her Nike signature shoe, though she kept most of the details private. What she did share was meaningful. She explained that having a signature shoe is special because she hopes young boys and girls can wear it and be inspired to chase their own dreams, whether in basketball or any other field. With a 21-point, 14-assist performance,
that lead, what allowed this group to maintain control of this game?
I mean, that was the first time all year that we didn't let someone come back, and I think in the first half, we had too many turnovers, we missed 11.
Cunningham's post-game comments were exactly what you would expect from her. She credited the PRP treatment on her elbow for helping her regain confidence in her shot, explaining that the issue had been bothering her but was finally improving. Now, she feels comfortable trusting her release again. Even after a huge performance, she quickly shifted the focus back to the team, saying Indiana is beginning to find its rhythm. There was no big celebration and no lengthy discussion about her hot streak, just the mindset of a player who battled through an injury and expects this level of shooting from herself.
Oh, what a night for Sophie Cunningham. 6 of 7 for 24 points. Sophie, just describe what this place feels like when you're knocking down those type of hits.
And you know, we have to just protect home court, and tonight was my night. It was a lot of people's nights. I think we had great pace. We picked up defensively, which was really nice. And when we set those high jacks for C, it just opens the court for everybody. So I'm just proud of our whole team. I think we really dialed in tonight.
Total control of the second half. We haven't seen much of that this season. What did it take for this team to hold that lead?
Coach, the Player of the Week conversation started before the locker room even cleared out. A 4-game win streak, 14 assists, and 5 records in a single night all added fuel to it. Caitlin Clark's assist numbers are now impossible to ignore for anyone tracking the MVP race. She is not just leading the league in assists, she is pulling away from everyone else. Voters who were slow to
really helped me.
With that
I'm not even gonna
lie. Running out of reasons
but
to
no,
wait.
on a real note, I just knew
8
that it was a matter of time until I started hitting my shots, and I think it's the same thing for, you know, kind of everyone on our team. Some nights it's going to be all season.
I thought.
No,
they're gonna challenge it.
She is also leading the league in 20-point, 10-assist performances, while some observers believe she is doing it within a system that does not fully maximize her.